Everybody wished they bought Bitcoin in its early days, but what if I told you right here, right now, in the crypto space, there's an amazing project waiting for you to discover with the same amount of upside as Bitcoin, just as if you were in 2013. So I spent the last 12 months deep diving into this project. I'm literally obsessed with it because I really do think this project has an amazing narrative for the years to come. It has the same core principles as Bitcoin, and it just has so much upside compared to other crypto projects. So, watch this video until the end and you're gonna know the 5 mistakes to avoid to not be like your OG Bitcoiner friend that found Bitcoin at $300 and did nothing with it. So this is the point of this video. When you're investing in generational narratives and projects like this one, don't fade it. What's up, guys? My name is Rado from Trendsetter Capital. Welcome to the new YouTube channel where we discuss everything crypto, AI, and most importantly, money-making tips. It's all about finding the new trends, cool ways to make money. We're gonna explore AI because I really do think it's a big narrative in the next 10 years. So if you like these subjects, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell notification because I'll be dropping weekly videos. So for reference, this is my third crypto cycle. I've been in the space since 2016. Made a lot of money with many narratives like the 2017 ICO narrative, the 2021 crypto NFT narrative. So made good amount of money, rotated everything, 100% of my portfolio into Bitcoin, and just never looked back. I was a Bitcoin maximalist because I do think 99% of projects in crypto, even the top 20, 30 cryptos, they're mostly scams. They don't provide any value. They're mostly speculative. So, one day, I was just chilling in my room. My brother came in. He's like, hey, I just analyzed 100 cryptos and I only liked one. And then I was like on my computer, I'm like, hey, what was the crypto? Like, what does it do? He's like, it's called Bittensor. The coin is Tau, and it decentralizes artificial intelligence, just like Bitcoin decentralizes money. It separates money and state. So I just heard that sentence, and me, I have a good reflex with crypto. I'm like, damn, that's a really good narrative. And artificial intelligence right now is really ramping up. So let me dig down that crypto and see what it's all about. So 1 hour after, just doing some basic research, I'm like, damn, this crypto blew my mind. It's really attacking and competing with big players, in the artificial intelligence sector, mainly big tech. So, Elon Musk's companies, Google, the Amazons, the OpenAIs, the Facebooks, the FANG stocks. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, this crypto is worth $3 billion and big tech is worth probably in the trillions. I don't even know. I'm not a stock guy. And I just realized if we only get 1, 2, or even 10% of their market share, this crypto is going to be worth in the hundreds of billions. And that instantly in my mind clicked. I'm like, there's maybe a 25 to 100x potential in the next 5 to 10 years. So this is when, I really started doing a deep dive. Spent the whole week just researching what it was, and I literally understood that this project was never seen before, and it literally mimics what Bitcoin is doing, how Bitcoin was created. It has the same tokenomics, the narrative is there, the total addressable market cap that crypto could reach is humongous as well. So, what I did like about Bittensor Tau is that there were no funding rounds, no venture capitalists, no early allocators that could dump the token price on launch. Nobody had 20% of the supply or 50% of the supply or whatever, like these other cryptos do, and raise 500 millions of dollars. So the conception for me is what we call in crypto an immaculate conception. The only difference is that Satoshi is unknown and the founders of Bittensor, they are known. They're part of the Open Tensor Foundation, which is actively aiming to step away from the project and doesn't even own a lot of coins. And by the way, they got it by providing value to the network, either by staking or by mining, the actual currency Tau. We're at the point where this crypto exists for 2 or 3 years now. Nobody knows what it is. Well, almost nobody. Nobody understands it. The majority of people who use it are either miners who are very tech savvy or very technical developers, or just people with crazy crypto experience, that just have that reflex and know how to invest, basically the early adopters before it reaches the mass public. And the emission schedule, which is a really important point for me, goes until 2070. Bitcoin is until 2141. This one is until 2070. It's just like Bitcoin. It halves every 4 years. And the block emissions, the block rewards, they have every 4 years. So the narrative is the same. I think the masses are gonna catch up to that in a couple of years. And right now, the community is just insane. We've had multiple 80% drawdowns, but the stake supply was almost fully locked throughout. So you can see people are really diamond handing this project. Smart people are holding it. Weak hands are, throwing it to stronger hands when we get these big crashes from like 700 to 150 or whatever. So, the community is just building. I'm in the Telegrams, I'm in the Discords, I am, watching what they're saying. The amount of intelligence in that space is just unique. I've never seen it. And this is the reason why I love this project. So you're probably wondering, what exactly is Bittensor? Well, let me explain it to you very simply, without getting very geeky and, too complex. So first of all, Bittensor is like Bitcoin, but for AI. Instead of mining and resolving hash puzzles, you mine artificial intelligence. I know that sounds crazy, but there's endless possibilities. You can either provide computational power, you could provide decentralized cloud storage with your machines that you have at home in your basement. You can scrape data sets, you can scrape social media, you can compress videos, or you can make content just like mine. Yes, I'm probably going to get paid and earn Tau tokens for videos just like these, and I'm going to touch on that subject in a later video, so you best better subscribe, and I'm gonna get to it in another video. So how does the actual ecosystem work? So let me explain it to you very briefly and simply. There's mainly 4 layers. Okay, so the first layer are the subnet owners. So picture the actual ecosystem. On top, you got the subnet owner. You can see these guys as company startups, a team of developers of 6 to 12 people who have a lot of technical skills and, they know how to code. So then on the second layer, you got the validators. These, you can imagine them as teachers inside a school, which they give exams to students, okay? They give them challenges, they give them tests, and then they grade them, they score them. And then you got the students, the third layer, which are the miners, which actually do the work. They burn the computational power, they run the different types of challenges. And remember, based off each subnet, the work of the miner differs a lot. Like I said, I named them earlier. You can do whatever as a miner. You just need to register on the subnet that you like. And then you got finally the fourth layer, the stakers. These people, they're like shareholders in a company. The more stakers you got towards a subnet, that they're supporting a subnet, the more that subnet has a lot of Tau tokens to give out. So if you don't have a lot of stakers, that actual subnet, that company doesn't have a lot of money to give out to the teachers and to the validators. So you get the point. So the stakers are like the supporters in a company. So this, in a nutshell, is actually the 4-layer system inside the Bittensor Tau network. We're definitely gonna do a deeper dive in future videos, but for now, I just want you to understand the basics of the of the network and how it works. So in my eyes, I literally discovered a generational play that I will not fade. So I literally made myself a 5-point checklist that I will follow and not make the same mistakes as my earlier bull runs and when I discovered Bitcoin at $2,000-$3,000. So the first mistake is not understanding what you're holding. That's the exact reason why I'm making this video, to help you guys understand what you're holding. Because if you buy $2,000 of Tau tokens and it goes to 20,000 and you sell it and you think you're that genius, but you're not looking at it from a bigger perspective, you might miss out on a lot of gains. So mistake number 2 is waiting on price. So this is a big mistake that I was doing when I was younger in like 2016 to 2020. It's not a satisfying feeling to just check candles all day and just be dependent on the price. So what you should do is find yourself a job or a grind outside of cryptocurrency. So for example, let's say you're at 5K per month and you jump your salary to 10K a month, but you still live with your parents, or you don't have that much expenses. You can dollar cost average your way down, as the price is going down and you're not just sitting on your hands waiting. You can actually buy more tokens because you now understand what you hold, and you're going to be able to accumulate, in a safe way. Mistake number 3 that you should definitely avoid is going too much all in. It really depends on your mindset, but some people, when they discover something, they go head on full aggressive mode and they put like 80 to 90% of their net worth in that. And just this is not, a healthy approach, because the token is very, it's quite new, it's very volatile, it could drop by 80% in a span of a couple of months. So, if you're all in and the token goes from $1,000 to $150, you're going to be left in the dust. And then if you need money to, pay expenses, just live your life, it's going to be very problematic and frustrating for you to sell your TAO when it's down 80%. We're not there yet, where the asset is not established yet, but volatility is opportunity. So mistake number 4 is thinking you're late. This is probably one of the most painful ones, but back in the days when I saw Bitcoin at $2,000, I bought a little bit, bought at 3,000 as well. And then it ran up to 20,000, then to 10 and to 3. And like, oh, I missed it, the price already 5 to 10x, but you need to look at the investment in a total addressable market cap perspective. Okay, so if the project is worth 30 billion, but in your mind, in your eyes, this is a $20 trillion project, it doesn't matter if you buy at 150 or 450 or $700. Just get a job, get a grind, and dollar cost average your way down to get as much tokens as possible. And finally, the last most important mistake, number 5, is not learning the ecosystem deeply, and at minimum, not learning how to mine. Because like I said, when you invest, you just sit on your tokens. But what if you can make content just like me and just get paid a couple tokens here and there, learn how to mine, learn how to run a node and earn some tokens? It's going to be very satisfying for you in the long run. It's going to be one of the best skills you've done for yourself. So that's a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you understood my groundbreaking vision with this asset. I really do think there's tremendous upside. So, it's not to be taken lightly. Comment, down in the section below if you want any future video topics. If you have any questions, if you didn't understand something, I'd be happy to answer you. And stay tuned for my next video, because I'll be showing you 10 tools, 10 crypto tools you need to understand and navigate the Bittensor network, and how to, understand it properly.